Hello and welcome back to Stadium Stories for this week's edition with Marisa Souchak of the St. Leo women's lacrosse team. We're glad to have you here, Marisa. Thanks for taking time to meet with us.
Yeah, thank you for asking me to be a part of it.
Absolutely. You're from Sarasota, Florida. Florida isn't really known as the lacrosse capital of the world. It's growing, but it's not known for it. So I guess before we hop into maybe how your summer was or things like that, could you take us back to when you first picked up a stick?
Yeah, so my story is a little bit unconventional because I didn't start, obviously being from Florida, didn't start till my sophomore year in high school. So my school was the first in our county to actually get a team. So, and the only way that we could have like a girls team or a boys team was if we had a girls team to like kind of go with that. So originally I didn't even try out. I was like so devoted to like basketball, swimming, because those were my two main sports at the time, that I was like, I don't really want to like try lacrosse. So I ended up going like a week or two late to the tryouts, which my coach at the time, like my old coach, she always makes fun of me for that because part of me almost didn't even go. But luckily I like decided to, you know, get out of my comfort zone, try and playing, and then after my sophomore season, like kind of learning the game, I like realized how much I loved it and really wanted to like pursue it. So yeah.
And you did.
Yes.
Awesome.
Exactly, yeah.
Do I remember right, your parents were also athletes?
Yeah, so both my parents are actually PGA professionals, which is like golf professionals, so they teach and are golf pros for a living. So yeah, so golf is like definitely a big part of my family. They always told, like, not the black sheep of the family, but I always chose every sport that was not golf. But my grandpa played, so it was definitely like passed down. My brothers play, everybody plays in our family, so.
Well, you still chose a sport with a stick.
Yes,
so,
exactly.
Yeah. So, well, you are an education major, and while you were high school, went, it's a pretty big decision in life of where to go to school for your education, and you know, as an education major, that it's pretty important. What kind of things were you looking for in a university that you knew is what you wanted?
Yeah, so obviously I knew I wanted to play lacrosse, so I kind of tried finding a smaller university, obviously going to into the lacrosse game pretty late in high school, so I wanted to find a school that was a little bit smaller, could actually maybe play if I had the opportunity, and then also being from Sarasota, I'm only about like an hour and a half away from here, so I knew my family's super close, so I really wanted to be close to home. Obviously, grew up in Florida, don't like the cold weather. The weather here is amazing all the time, most of the time, the rain, you know. Yeah. But I definitely knew I wanted to be in the warmer weather, be able to stay as close to home as possible, but also be in a beautiful campus too, which is great.
Yeah. Now, your senior year is here, and you've gotten to student teach, which we'll get to soon, but what are your goals in terms of teaching, career-wise? Like, is there a grade that you want to teach?
Yeah, so through St. Leo, they've given me a bunch of different internship opportunities. I've been able to work with fourth grade, online because of COVID, even kindergarten. Right now I'm in a second grade classroom. I always kind of thought I wanted to be second or third grade, but surprisingly after working with kindergarten students, I really liked that age group, so I really think I'm going to end up kind of going younger in my career. But after that, I think I want to teach for a few years, and then the ultimate plan or ultimate goal would be to work in administration. Really would love to be a principal, vice principal, something like that in the future, but yeah, that's the goal.
You were just named captain again by your team and coaches, which is pretty awesome, and you have a bunch of really awesome co-captains. Mm-hmm. Last year you won the yearly Reynolds Love Unsung Hero Award, which is pretty awesome, and I'm guessing pretty humbling experience. Could you share a little bit about that whole interview process, what it meant to you and your family to be named that, and then really also the last thing is, you were able to choose a charity of where the foundation should donate to, and which one did you pick and why?
Yeah, so I actually ended up choosing, it's called the Florida Center for Early Childhood Education, and it's actually based in Sarasota. So that kind of hit close to home because I think I kind of want to eventually end up teaching in that county again. But it works providing different resources, everything for students who may need extra accommodations, support, therapy in the classroom, because obviously that is a part that I've been able to learn through all my internships, is that that's something that students deal with. So being an educator and having that extra funds or support is really important. So I ended up choosing that one, which I was very excited about. But the overall award, it was super interesting because I personally had not that much knowledge about One Love, which was the organization who created the whole award, foundation, everything like that. But It was basically for a young women's lacrosse player who played about like 10, 12 years ago, and she actually lost her life due to domestic violence. And I think that it's just such a great organization because it's like teaching young people like to how to have those healthy relationships, like not only with like other people, but like with yourselves, with your teammates, and kind of just like really focusing on like that mental aspect too, especially being like student athletes. That is a very prevalent issue nowadays. So I think that it was really good to be able to kind of learn about it and also be like honored through that organization.
Now I guess the question I've been waiting to ask was how was your summer in Rome? You had the opportunity to student teach.
So it was not Rome, but it was in Italy. But
Okay.
it was a small city called Alba, which is just like southwest of Milan. So it was unreal. Actually my neighbors, they have like family connections there, so they were able to kind of say like, hey, like we need like 2 young like students to go there and want to like maybe teach, like working at a school, because they over there they learn like more of like the proper like British English, but they obviously like they want to learn the what they hear on like television and everything like that. They want to know like the American English. So they asked if I wanted to go over there for, I think I was there for a month, just kind of working with the students Monday through Friday at like different English lessons, stuff like that, but even just doing like different activities, like just even having the social like interactions, which help them kind of learn the dialogue, learn the language. Yeah.
Yeah. Was there a highlight from the student teaching aspect of Italy?
I think it was just like meeting everybody there, because it was such like it was a culture shock, because almost everybody there, like they try to, since it's such a smaller town, they like try to speak English, but it wasn't that good. So it was definitely kind of like adjusting, kind of like trying to be like, okay, like I don't know exactly what you're saying, because all the young kids spoke Italian. So I would just kind of be like, based on like the context of it, everything, I would just be like, okay, this is what I think you need. I'm just going to kind of go with it. It was really just like kind of adjusting on the fly, which I think is really important as like an educator, because that you never know what's going to happen in the classroom. So it definitely like translated pretty well.
That's cool. And what is something in general that you learned during your time there? You said for about a month.
Yeah. I think it's just like take every opportunity, like even if it's like, you know, there's always going to be some hard parts. Like I was obviously away from my family for a long period of time, so that was kind of like a struggle. But I think that on the opposite side of that, it's like I was putting myself out of my comfort zone, and it's like I did that, and I'm like proud to say I did that. So I can say that like, hey, like I would love to do the opportunity again if I had the opportunity. Like I think it was again just like great learning experience more than anything.
Awesome. Well, now you're back in the States with your family and even back at St. Leo, your senior year. What are things you're looking forward to?
Obviously playing with my team again. I think we're finally like slowly transitioning out of the whole COVID times, or everybody's kind of getting back into normal practices, because even last fall we didn't have like a normal season or normal fall ball. So I think that I'm just really excited to be able to like go to scrimmages, hang out with like my teammates, and actually like play like full field scrimmages, or like actually be able to have a full practice with everybody being there, which is awesome. But yeah, I'm just excited to be back.
Awesome. Well, before I let you go, just one other question for someone that either is aiming to play collegiate lacrosse, someone that might want to be a teacher someday, someone that might is thinking about studying abroad. What advice would you give to anyone in any of those categories, or all three, like yourself?
Yeah. Well, I think that one thing, so my grandma would always tell me there's always a solution. Like it was just kind of like our family saying, and I think that it's like pretty realistic, and like I try to like take that mindset into everything I do, like lacrosse, teaching, school, just anything, that it's like no matter how like hard it may get, or how like busy your schedule is, or how like, you know, like maybe this coach isn't answering back my emails like for like to play lacrosse somewhere, but like there's always going to be a solution. Like you'll always be able to figure out something, and that no matter like, again, how hard times get, like there's always like, I guess like a rainbow, or there's always like a positive that will come out of it.
That's awesome. Well, thank you for taking time to talk with us today and share a little piece of your story. Thank you, listeners, for joining us here outside at University Turf Stadium. And I'm Christy Lear. Until next week, go Lions.